This is Katie. Thank you for joining me again on the My Senses, My Space podcast. And today I wanted to share my thoughts on the word lazy. I think many of us have heard this coming from mostly family members, but maybe some friends of, especially when we were younger. We were called lazy if we didn't get up and help out with chores or just help out with anything around the house. And I think having this concept or this term invited into our heads and thinking about, oh, well, it must be my fault and something is wrong with my body for wanting to say no to the request. Like, it's something to wrap your head around. Like, what actually was happening in that moment? Many times, we don't like to help out people. Like, in that very moment, it may not be our choice to go, oh, yay, like my body is looking forward to helping in some capacity. But for the most part, people are like, well, yeah, I want to be helpful to other people. But why was it that many times our body was saying, maybe this doesn't feel right now? And then an adult saying, well, you're just being lazy, get up and do this. So the concept of, everyone being able to just get up and help is actually ableist. There are so many situations, physical and mental, that can keep people from just, and that's another word, just getting up and helping out instead of being, quote, lazy. But sometimes it's because people have never experienced having physical and mental limitations that can make it hard for people to help out, help stumbling over my words today, to be able to help out easily. But a lot of times people are coming just from their own experiences. And here, I just said just, right? I'm not saying the particular words should be banned in all ways. I'm just saying, like, when someone says, just do this, sometimes it's very hard to make that initial step up and over, getting started, both mentally and physically. But if people don't have experiences where that is coming into play again and again, making that it's very hard to take that first step, they're just coming from their own experience and thinking, oh, well, they're just being lazy and they just need to get over that step. So I know for myself, it can be very, very hard for me to start in on something where I can't visualize the outcome. And so it can be like, well, I set a goal for myself or a task for myself that's kind of nebulous. And I look at it and I go, okay, I need to, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, create more creativity in my life, like invite more creativity into my life. And what does that look like though? Like I need specific things in order to take a first step. I need to think about it as like, well, maybe I could take a class. Maybe I could go to an art gallery. Maybe I could watch a documentary. Maybe I could watch videos from artists or Skillshare or whatever. I'm not a sponsor. But just like, what does that actually look like? So that's one barrier. Another barrier is like just physically being just exhausted and unable to complete many tasks that day. Am I actually being lazy? No, my body is actually saying, stop, pause, rest. You need to slow down. You need to take care of yourself. You can't go at that speed, that cadence right now. Maybe you did earlier this week, not today. Not today. And that's not being lazy. So what can we do when we are hit with these things? And I've alluded to it, like saying pause to your body, saying, okay, I had like total sensory overload yesterday. I need to take the day to pause and just regroup and heal, or, you know, I'm starting a new medication and I need to give that time to have my body process it in a different way and monitor symptoms. Like, there's so much surrounding our needs every day that it could be that things are just drawn out longer. So looking at tasks and looking at goals as trying to divide them up into the smallest little steps you can. And sometimes that very first step, and I know it works for me because it's kind of that fear of the empty page, right? If there's something I'm creating or something that is kind of a big task or an unknown task, what I try to challenge myself to do is maybe put my name on the page, or put one little thing, or put some sort of template together. Excuse me. And I love templates in this way. I think maybe looking at all of this as like a template, meaning that you have some sort of outline to go from and say, okay, tomorrow when I start this task, or later in the day when I start this task, I already have a framework in where I can take the smallest little step later. So for instance, I have a to-do list to organize my kitchen or something, or just to clean my kitchen, or just to clean the dishes. Like, it can be very, very small. So what is the first step in cleaning dishes? Well, maybe I actually get out my supplies first and I walk away. Like, just having those set up, the next time I'm able to get up and try to complete the task, I feel invited to take another small task, as another small step in that. Maybe it's having someone else around, or having someone on the phone, or listening to the podcast, some way to kind of, listening to a podcast and having some way to like distract myself a little bit from all of the worries of me doing it wrong. I feel like sometimes I have to drown those out, playing music, podcasts, friends, videos, whatever playing in the background, and knowing that during that initial, step, which feels like a big step, but you're actually trying to make it the smallest step, can be really beneficial of just going, you know what, I'm going to distract you, brain, for a little bit. And I'm going to take that first step, and then know that I can walk away after a little bit of time and say, okay, I'm going to take a break and come back. I think we'll still be hearing from a lot of people the word lazy a lot. It's just so ingrained from childhood. And so, like, when I heard it on a video I was watching this last week, and I just cringed so much, because I was like, but you're not seeing it from a lot of other viewpoints that people with disabilities, people with different neurodiversities, trauma, anxiety, whatever it is, you're not seeing it from that perspective because you've never experienced it that way. And so I think it's going to take a lot of time for people to kind of understand that and to wrap their heads around it. So at first I wanted to jump on and say something and say, please don't use that word. But I also can't be stopping and educating everyone on this. But I feel like people will respond to removing that from their vocabulary if they are met with kindness and a new perspective of like, hey, I don't know if you've ever experienced this before, but this is quite triggering for people who can't just do something or are looked at as being lazy when they can't do something. So I hope this helps a little bit in reframing your perspective. And this next week, I'm really excited about a lot of upcoming episodes. So if you're enjoying this podcast, please give me, put a couple stars on this in your favorite podcast app, or just let me know, drop me a line somewhere that this is really helping you out, because I feel like I'm gaining some momentum now, and I have some really exciting episodes coming up. So until next time, thank you for joining me on the My Senses, My Space podcast.